we're going to go to the moon, put on the show of a lifetime.
I've been waiting for this match my entire life. This match truly means everything to me. Rock had a wonderful career in the WWE, and we finally collide on April 1st.
When you guys are thinking about the biggest WrestleMania match ever, The Rock and John Cena will always come to mind. WrestleMania 28 had the most buys in WWE history. WrestleMania 28 did 1.2 million buys. But the real thing about this is The Rock and John Cena, they actually didn't like each other. So let's take a look back at one of the biggest beefs in WWE history. The Rock has just departed to go to Hollywood while John Cena was on his come up in the WWE. The feud would start when John Cena went on an interview in 2008 with The Sun. John Cena would say The Rock did not give anything back to the wrestling world, and he would suggest that he would come back to do occasional appearances. So Cena's just taking some subtle shots, you know what I'm saying? Also in the interview, John Cena would say he would call the Great One a sellout, and that claimed he loved the WWE, but he would never show up. Prior to Cena's comments on the interview, the two had maintained a friendly relationship. The Rock would make some lighthearted jokes about Cena's own movie at the 2008 Hall of Fame, where he inducted his father and his grandfather. But as a result of Cena's comments, I'm gonna be honest, they caught Rocky off guard. And who would know with these just little comments John Cena made would put the pieces together to put one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, and the fans have always wanted it for years.
The feud began on the February 14, 2011 episode of Raw, where The Rock returned after 7 years away and was announced as the host of WrestleMania 27. In his return promo, he called Cena and started mocking him as a pretender to the likes of him and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That "you can't see me," y'all remember that. But the following week, Cena responded in the best way he knew how in a rap, mocking The Rock's acting career as well as his claim to be the People's Champion. Like, how could you be the People's Champ when you don't even mess with the people for real? The back and forth went on for many weeks, with Cena's WWE title match with The Miz becoming a side story as a result. It was slightly unfair on The Miz, but he was still a complete third wheel, despite holding the most coveted title in the industry. But yeah, anyways, on Raw, The Rock would mock Cena's flow in his raps. He said Cena was running his mouth and talked about Cena's remarks. By the way, The Rock's title shelf is too good. The Rock said he paved the way for Cena and The Rock's had enough. The next week on Raw, Cena would respond to The Rock in the only way he knew how, and that was by rapping. He also said The Rock was reading off a teleprompter, and that was amazing. He said he saw the reflection of the words in The Rock's sunglasses, and that's amazing. I remember this one streamer who was streaming like boxing matches and the reflection of his glasses. I don't know, it reminded me of that. But anyways, Cena said The Rock talks all this smack, but he's never there. Cena was such a troll during this feud, and he was pissing Rock off hella. He said he got The Rock's new t-shirt that said, "I bring it via satellite." That was brilliant. But after this, The Rock would invite Matty B. Raps to his crib and had him impersonate John Cena and have him roast him, say he's not as talented as The Rock, and he had the kid wipe his nose with Cena's shirt. But Cena had The Rock shook, I'm not even gonna lie. But also, Cena's purple shirt was probably the worst in my opinion, so I would have wiped my nose with it too. But the next time on Raw, The Miz would come out with the best Rock cosplay ever. It got me at first, I'm not even going front. But I was on Team Cena. I think Josh was on Team Bring It. I don't know, that weak-ass squad. But yeah, anyways, the last Raw before Mania, the two would finally meet face-to-face for the first time. Cena questioned why The Rock hated him so much. Cena figured it out and said that he's proud of the way he is, and he isn't going to change who he is for anybody. The Miz would then randomly come out with Alex Riley, and hey, I heard Cena had A-Rod in the Diddy parties. He's trying to get his get back now, I don't know. But I heard some crazy stuff about Alex Riley and Cena. I don't know if it's true or not, but The Miz started roasting The Rock, and Cena was laughing so hard on the outside of the ring, it was priceless. But The Miz and A-Rod would jump The Rock, and The Rock would battle back and hit The Miz with the people's elbow, but Cena would come in and third party, and it was pretty badass, I'm not even going front.
The Mania match was on, and it was John Cena versus The Miz. I'm gonna be so honest, this Mania was so garbage, probably my least favorite Mania of all time. Anyways, Cena and The Miz would be counted out, but The Rock would be the special guest, and then he'd be like, "We're restarting this match." The match would be started again, and then The Rock would hit John Cena with a rock bottom, and then The Miz would go on to keep his WWE Championship. The next night on Monday Night Raw, Cena would address everything. He would even call out The Rock. The Rock would then come out and basically said the reason he did it is because he basically just doesn't like John Cena. And then The Rock would basically make fun of John Cena and like where he shops. John Cena will respond with the coldest line ever. He goes, "Yeah, let's take fashion advice from the Tooth Fairy." Top, bro. Cena was just basically in The Rock, I ain't gonna lie. Cena and The Rock would finally declare that their match was on for the main event at WrestleMania 28, 1 year in advance. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of nuts. This feud feeds families. And of course, in typical Raw fashion, we go from the greatest of all time to the worst. The Core would come out, and yes, the Core, they would attack The Rock and John Cena. And basically, The Rock and Cena, they would just tear shit down, just beat their ass, hit them with their finishers, and they'd just be staring at each other. And then they would shake hands one more time, agreeing that their match would take place in 1 year. The next month, The Rock would have a birthday party. Mae Young would come out, and The Rock would just kiss Mae Young. Yeah, you don't know about the Dwayne parties. But then John Cena would come into the segment, hold up his championship belt, and say, I'm going to hold on to this belt, so next year at Mania, it's for the title. And again, they were just staring each other down, cold segment. So to keep the feud going, I think John Cena was at like a live show, or it was like after a Raw. He was like talking shit about Dwayne. The Rock would go on a Twitter rant and upload a 10-minute video of him just talking shit to Cena. Like, bruh, I don't know, bruh. A Twitter video is kind of crazy, but the feud would just be left there for a little bit. But a few months later, Laurinaitis would come out. R-Truth and The Miz were attacking John Cena with steel chairs. John Laurinaitis would then say, at Survivor Series, there would be a tag team match with The Miz and Truth, the Awesome Truth, if you guys didn't know, versus John Cena and a partner of his choosing. And honestly, who do you think he took? He picked Dwayne, and the match would be set for Survivor Series. After this, Mick Foley would host a This Is Your Life segment, and let's just say this is something, bro. John Cena's dad would come out and just basically be talking shit about the fans. And like, John Cena was so embarrassed, and he tells his dad just to go in the back. But the Agnes segment, I'm not gonna lie, it was perfect. The Rock would come out, and Mick Foley had like a half Cena shirt and a half Rock shirt. Yeah, you know, that was pretty cool. But The Rock didn't care. He gave him a rock bottom and just walked out of there. The Raw before Survivor Series, The Rock would come out and cut a promo. And he was basically just saying like how good it was to be back. He was actually filming a movie, G.I. Joe, when he hopped on a plane to go where the Raw was. I think it was in Boston, but I'm not too sure. But just basically saying how good it was to be back. Then The Miz and Truth would interrupt the promo, basically just calling him out, and like they were just talking shit to him, and like they were just saying like they were tired of being disrespected. And then John Cena would come out to even the odds. Soon as John Cena got out there, you could just feel the tension between The Rock and Cena. They were just taking subtle jabs at him, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, shit's funny. Bro, you just gotta check this shit out, bro. It's just hilarious. And then the promo would end by a brawl, and basically they were just beating their ass. John Cena would have, I forgot who it was, but they would have an attitude adjustment, and then The Rock would rip him off his shoulders and hit him with a rock bomb, basically just stealing his thunder. But then the match would be on for Survivor Series. The match of Survivor Series would be a pretty good match, pretty good tag team match. The Rock would hit a people's elbow and get the win, and then he would be up on the rope celebrating, and Cena would just be on the ramp just looking at him, like, because The Rock was just taking like all the credit. And then Cena would come into the ring, he was getting booed. And then as Cena was trying to walk off, The Rock would hit him with a rock bottom and then just ignite their feud before WrestleMania.
A few months later, John Cena would talk about his upcoming WrestleMania match with The Rock and went on a rant. Cena had so many zingers during this feud, I think anybody would have gotten zapped. He said The Rock is so Hollywood that you can't even get a hold of him because of his entourage. So this is where Roman got his schedule from. I got you, Roman. But Cena says that The Rock is only here to promote movies in his Twitter account, but Cena says this is his life. Cena also vowed to beat The Rock at Mania and said he was doing it for the fans and the people that are proud to be professional wrestlers. Yeah, saying professional wrestler was so rare during these days, so he had to apologize before saying it. But Cena was in his bag during this feud. I swear, I've never seen The Rock get rattled like this before. This might have been scripted, but man, it felt so real. But this promo was so incredible, but Cena had so much passion. But anyways, Cena ended off by blowing Rock a kiss. The next week, The Rock would come out and respond to Cena. The Rock said Cena was a phony claiming to be from the streets. The Rock said that Cena has his phone number, but he doesn't want to talk to Cena anyways. He'd rather slap him with Kung Pao chicken. I'm not trolling, he actually said this. But The Rock really just trolls during the segment and controlling the crowd like he always does best, and he didn't really say anything crazy here. But Cena pulled up though and was ready to shut this shit down. Cena is my favorite wrestler of all time, so my bad if I'm being biased. But as a kid, you know I'll sign for Cena, come on. Cena started berating The Rock and call out his corny catchphrases, but this is where it all changed. Cena says, I don't need words trending worldwide, just like I don't need the notes from my promo on my wrist. Bro, you could see The Rock's mood go from like 50 to 100. Cena got him again. I think this is the only time The Rock has ever been little bro this badly on the mic. But say what you want about Cena, but this motherfucker was cold on the mic. But Cena came in, murked The Rock, and then left. This was too tough. But Cena got in his head, you could tell. The Rock got like the last words, but Cena got the last laugh. The Rock knew he had to step harder like Young and Ace type shit. And he did. Incoming classic, boys. But the next week, The Rock was back in Boston at the Boston Harbor, and he was there with Cena memorabilia. Cena alarm clocks, garden gnomes, cologne, you name it. The Rock would then teach Cena about Paul Revere. Instead of Cena was fighting back then, we would be doomed. But The Rock was just killing it on every level. Every joke was hitting. It's kind of hard to explain this, but if I did, I'd probably get banned on YouTube. But the same night though, Cena would come out and respond to The Rock's history lessons, and Cena will once again go in on The Rock and says that The Rock is a tryhard. He called The Rock a tryhard, no, that's bad. But Cena also mentions that The Rock was shook last week, like Ange told y'all he was. But during all these segments, by the way, you just hear the commentators laughing. It just makes the experience so much better. But this is like Nas versus Jay-Z, Pac versus Big E, Dot versus Drizzy. Damn, I had some flow right there. Hold on, I'm gonna be a new rapper. But anyways, this was huge. Cena would beg The Rock to come out, and he would. The Rock was getting louder pops in Cena's hometown than Cena was, and I know he felt like Eminem right here.
Got more fans than you in your own city, little kitty, go play.
But yeah, The Rock said Cena didn't shake his confidence, but just after that, the crowd started chanting Tooth Fairy. But nah, they switched up on him. I'm not gonna lie, at that point, if I'm The Rock, I'm pulling the Glock out like Arn Anderson and crashing out on Boston right then and there. The Boston Glock party is different. But after this, The Rock would walk out and Cena would mock him again. Cena wrote on his wrist and started mocking The Rock. I know the boys in the back were popping. But this is why you guys can't follow the sheet, because Cena owned The Rock in damn near every single promo, but everybody was still cheering for The Rock. So for Cena, he upped the score like 10-2 right now. But the next week, they were in Cleveland, my hometown. When John Cena came out with the Thuganomics theme and the old gimmick, and then seeing him with the throwback Mark Price jersey, it was just a beautiful sight. And then Cena crushed my heart when he compared The Rock to LeBron and said he took his talents down to South Beach. Oh, the decision. Now's not the time, man. Now's not the time. I need to go to therapy. Anyways, back to the segment. Cena would just go on and just say he'd give The Rock a Cleveland steamer. Yeah, if you know, you know. If you don't know, you should probably keep it that way. But anyways, Cena was here for a good time, not a long time like Drizzy, and he ended off by saying, I'm gonna put my nuts dead in your face. But this was a fantastic segment, and Cena for a little bit just felt like a Cleveland guy. He even had MGK, who was a Cleveland artist, perform at Mania, and in my opinion, it's one of the best Mania songs ever. Invincible is so goated. But anyways, The Rock will respond with a musical performance of his own, and you know The Rock concerts are always hit different. But The Rock went off, ladies and gentlemen, and Cleveland got blessed. The Rock would talk about Cena and Eve, his doctor, when he was born, the whole nine. This was genuinely one of the funniest segments ever. Cena wasn't the only one catching bullets though. He went for the grown man Cena fans. They got bullied so hard, it was bad. They might as well just walk out the building.
Never in your life will you ever taste pie.
Ah, that was great. But The Rock would also talk about hooking up with Cena's mom and said she could barely walk. My God, The Rock took Cena's mom to Pound Town. Mama Rhodes and Mama Cena are not safe. But that wasn't even the best part. The Rock wanted to finish the concert with a bang. The Rock was doing karaoke night apparently and made a Cena diss track on the We Will Rock You beat. This is deadass probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't know why nobody talks about this, but it's so bad and it's so offbeat, but it's the greatest diss track ever. Forget everything I've said about Cena, Papa Doc, and The Rock. Just off of this alone, The Rock was in the lead. This caught me so off guard. Please go watch this. Like, this might be played at my funeral. Bro, I'm crying. But this was peak entertainment. But the next week, Cena would go on to beat Mark Henry on Raw, and then The Rock would come out, rock bottom Mark Henry, and then leave. The message was sent. But the final Raw before Mania, The Rock would give Cena some props, but he told Cena he never fought anybody like The Rock. Cena would come out and interrupt right away. I'll never get tired of Cena's song, man. I swear, it's like a perfect wrestling theme song. But Cena even points out that he was a WWE superstar when it wasn't cool to be one, and said he'd been holding it down ever since The Rock left. But yeah, I'm gonna make a video about that and how Cena just saved wrestling from completely dying after the Benoit stuff. But Cena says another cold line. He says, I'll be goddamn if you come in a visitor and take my life away from me. But Jesus, that shit was cold. But The Rock would come back and say the WWE is your life, but I helped build this company. The Rock also says he needs to beat Cena to become the greatest WWE superstar of all time. This feud was scorching hot, and the match was on, and everybody and their cousin was ready for it. I seriously don't think the hype to this match could ever be topped, and this capacity of a match could ever be topped ever, like, again. Because this is like the biggest match we will ever see, like, ever in our lives. Because all you suck. I severed the weakest. Now my pedigree, cause on the tombstone is as hard as their name will ever be. Hey, what y'all know about hops? Alright, my bad. I am a weird individual, but this was undoubtedly one of the greatest matches ever, especially as a kid. It was really just larger than life. But at Mania 28, it was on. John Cena versus The Rock. Diddy would come out, and man, I forgot he was here for this, but he would bring out MGK. This felt so big. Seeing MGK in the Cleveland tank top on the stage with Invincible playing just hit so hard, man. Especially being a young white boy from Cleveland. I just can't hate on MGK, man, even after the Eminem beef. But Cena would come out with a new green shirt, and it was game time. We had one more performance, though, from Flow Rider. And say what you want about Flow, but my boy knew how to make hits. Two complete opposites with MGK and Flow performing really encapsulated this whole feud and demographic perfectly. Perfectly picked artists, and to have two back-to-back music performances shows how big this match was. But Flow would perform Good Feeling and Wild Ones, and these songs still hit different to this day. But The Rock would come out next, and my goosebumps would come out too. The year-long build, the real beef, the call-outs, everything would culminate right here. Thank you, Michael Cole, for that word, but these two did not disappoint. This match had the unfortunate task to follow end of an era, which in my opinion is the greatest match of all time, and it still held it down. Cena and The Rock would go back and forth, and the crowd was hot. Cena and The Rock would dump their clips out and hit each other with everything they had. Every move Rock would hit had me super nervous, especially as a kid. But sharpshooters, spine busters, rock bottoms, everything. The Rock had Cena's number, but Cena just kept fighting back. The Rock would hit the people's elbow, but Cena would keep kicking out. They were trying everything in this point, and Rock would go to the top rope and go for a crossbody, but Cena would roll through and hit The Rock with the FU. 1, 2, Rock kicks out. I swear I thought it was GG's, but Cena would make the biggest mistake of his life. Cena would mock The Rock and go for the goofiest people's elbow ever. But after he jumped over The Rock would get up and hit Cena with the rock bottom. 1, 2, 3. It was over. I was devastated. But this was the most traumatizing event in human history. If I could go back and tell my 9-year-old self something, I'd just say, Ange, give it up right here. It just keeps getting worse. Now I'm playing. But for real, though, just trust the process because Cena would get his get back. But still, though, on one hand, I get it. But on the other hand, it just feels wrong. Like, I get you have to send the crowd home happy and Cena was the bad guy, I guess. But Cena literally carried the feud for a year and carried the WWE for like 7 years. And all that work he's done, all that carrying he's done, you reward him by making him lose the biggest match of his career. But the picture of him sitting on the ramp just crushes my soul. Let's say, like, right now, if Cena had a huge feud like this, and I could almost guarantee he would lose and put the other guy over. But I guess it's just a testament to how selfless Cena really is. But yeah, man, The Rock won this, but the feud wasn't over. And yes, we all got clickbaited, but I mean, it makes sense. If I was running WWE, I'd probably do the same thing. But the Raw after WrestleMania, Cena would come out and cut a promo. Cena said he still stands on everything, and he said he wasn't making any excuses. The crowd would chant, "You're a loser" at him, and man, I was ready to slide. But Cena would refuse to lash out on the fans, and Cena would even shout out MGK in the crowd. But John Cena would invite The Rock to the ring to acknowledge him, but someone else would come out. Brock Lesnar came out, and oh my God, Cena had 99 problems. But forget The Rock. Now you got Brock on you. But Cena might as well retire at this point because his morals were dead and gone like T.I. But Brock would go to shake his hand and then pull Cena in and F5'd him. The WWE needed this, though, because they were at such a dry point, and we had, like, Alberto as a main eventer. Like, come on, bro. But this just got real. Fast forward to July 23rd, 2012, Cena and Rock would meet face-to-face again. The Rock would wish Cena good luck on his match against Punk, and Cena says he wanted to win the WWE title so he could face The Rock again. At the Royal Rumble, Cena would win the Rumble, and The Rock would win the WWE Championship. So you knew what they were planning here. On the February 18th episode of Raw, John Cena would put his Royal Rumble spot on the line against CM Punk, and CM Punk accepted. I will also point out that on the same episode of Raw, The Rock would introduce the new WWE Championship, and man, this was by far the coolest looking variation of this title. Just beautiful. But also during this segment, John Cena would interrupt, and just when he was going to do something, Punk came out from behind and attacked him with the spinner WWE Championship. But the next week, Cena and Punk would drop a classic, boys. Looking back, Cena from like 2010 to 2013 was the driest Cena era ever, and he had two of his best matches ever in this time. It's crazy. And I don't know where a lot of people love Cena now, but I ain't never turned to my boy, but it's okay. But yeah, this match was incredible and one of the best Raw matches ever. Punk would hit a power driver on Cena and everything, and Cena would also hit a Hurricane Rana as well, but Cena would hit the AA and pin Punk. This Cena and Rock feud wasn't as good or as personal as before, but it's still Cena and The Rock. The next week, Rock and Cena would stand face to face again. John Cena says he's not losing and he needs to win this. Cena also quotes Mike Tyson and says, "In order to be the greatest that ever lived, you have to beat everybody living." The tension was building. But on the March 25th episode of Raw, there would be a Legends Q&A segment where Rock and Cena would be face to face again, and they were ready to get physical. But Cena would make the same mistake again, and he would get too cocky again. Cena would also do the "you can't see me" emote in The Rock's face, but Cena would go for the AA, but Rock would counter with the rock bottom. Cena's cockiness would cost him again. When will he learn? On the April 1st episode of Raw, John Cena would basically say the same stuff, and the crowd would chant boring. A boring chant is crazy. You would have thought Lord Tensai was wrestling. But on the same episode, The Rock would respond to Cena and said he's not passing the torch anytime soon. Once again, The Rock was just playing with the crowd again. But WrestleMania 29 was here, and man, it didn't have a vibe even close to 28, and it looked like Celtic Shaq out here. And the show was just garbage. Even The Rock and Cena graphic wasn't that cool. They just gave up. But anyways, the match was on. You could tell it was way more friendly, so that makes me believe that everything before Mania 28 was actually real. But John Cena will make his entrance, and man, the performances made the match and vibe so much better. But The Rock will make his entrance, and it was game time. 2 years in the making, we were finally here. In my opinion, this match was way weaker, but it was still good. But multiple finishers and kickouts later, the match was turning up. The match would have a really cool and crazy callback too. The Rock would actually make Cena's mistake this time, and he would go for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but Cena would counter and hit Rock with the AA. 1, 2, and a kick out. But after this, The Rock would go for the rock bottom, but Cena would counter and go for his own rock bottom, and Rock would kick out again. Cena would go for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but he came to his senses, post-nut clarity type shit. And he decided to go for the people's elbow again. Cena, what are you doing, man? But it was bait though. Cena would run across the ropes, and The Rock would get up, but Cena would clutch the ropes. Cena was being too cocky again though, because he would hit The Rock with the "you can't see me," but The Rock would catch him lacking and set him to rock bottom. Cena would kick out though, and The Rock would try for one more rock bottom, but Cena would counter with the AA. 1, 2, 3, it was over. Cena got his get back. Cena and The Rock would embrace and hug in the ring, and they would have a wholesome conversation. Should I break it? Alright, I got you. I'll break it down for you. Cena says, "You have no idea. I asked for a picture with you and me when I was 20 years old, working at a store in Venice, California, and you've always been nice to me. You've always been respectful whenever we talked, and you always told me to keep it up." And The Rock would say, "I want to tell you, I came back for this very moment, right now, for them, and for you. I believe in you." This was beautiful. The Rock would also raise Cena's hand on the ramp, but the torch was passed. Not really. I mean, I don't really know what the point of all this was. I'll always say it should have been a triple threat with Punk, but I digress. The whole feud was still just brilliant, man. Two of the GOATs just shooting at each other and none of them missing. Countless killer segments, biggest Mania match ever, and also one of the best matches ever. But it's not over here though. But hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? The Rock and Cena will bump into each other again at WrestleMania 32, and it was great. Cena will come back from an injury to save The Rock from the Wyatt family, and it was by far my favorite moment from Mania 32. The two wouldn't cross paths though again until like September 15, 2023, I think. I don't know, I'm not Michael Cole, I don't have WWE facts on my ass, but the two would meet backstage and hug, and it was great. Cena would tell Rock, "Welcome home." What a switch from a decade ago. But that isn't all. WrestleMania 40. John Cena would come out and take out Solo, but The Rock, aka the final boss, would come out and the two would have a face-off. I felt just like a kid again, man. But it was really short, but man, I don't care, I'll take it. But there it is, guys. Matches-wise, I think AJ is Cena's best feud. But promos, segments, and hype, I think this has to be Cena's best feud. But Cena would take back what he said about The Rock, and they are basically best friends now. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed a 20-year-old man talking about his childhood and one of his favorite feuds ever. And I'm just playing, but I don't care if this video gets 10 views or 10 billion views. I'm just doing it for the love of the game. But this is my way to get out all my thoughts about wrestling. You know how rappers vent in their songs, but this is kind of what that is for me. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. I love reading the comments. It makes the experience a whole lot better. But I hope you guys liked it, and we out, man. Peace. Subscribe. Join the ride.
We had real issues with each other. So he's one of my best friends. We talk all the time.
I text him all the time. He'll send me voice messages. He's truly in a universe of his own. I hope he understands my perspective. A year later, I knew that my perspective was wrong.